Okay, guys, welcome to the How to Rank #1 on Google Notary to Notary training. But the thing about this training is that it's not just for notaries. So a lot of people who get into notary work has already have other businesses, or they get into notary work and then they start additional businesses. And so how to rank on Google is something that you can use for any business model that you have, okay? And these concepts that we're going to go over today, you can use across the board. It doesn't really matter what business you have. Okay, hold on. Let me talk about Google. Before I do that, I want to run a poll really quick just to see where you guys are and get an idea of who's going, what I need to focus on. I don't want to focus on too much, and you guys already know. So do you already have a website? So the poll's coming out now. If you guys could just answer that. Do you guys already have a website built for your business? Let's see. Okay, and while you guys do that poll, we're going to talk about Google. So Google is the #1 search engine in the world, okay? If you're not listed on Google, it's like, what are you doing? Okay. Ask yourself this: when you go to search anything, where do you go? And you guys can just put that in the chat. When you go search for anything, where do you go? There's a lot of search engines out there, but what search engine do you use? I use Google. I love Google. Google is fun. Google is awesome. And so I just want to see, I'm going to help you guys work through this idea, okay? And when you put, and for the record, when we do this training, if you have questions, put it in the chat. And there is a small delay from when you actually type the questions and I see it, but I will get to it, okay? So yeah, Google. So now why don't you use Yahoo, or why don't you use Bing? Okay, ask yourself that and put it in the chat. Why don't you use Yahoo and why don't you use Bing? I can tell you why I don't, but I want you guys to think through this with me. Why don't you use Yahoo for your searches, or why don't you use Bing, or what are some other search engines out there? I'm really not 100% sure because I don't use them. But why don't you use those other search engines that are available for you to use? Why don't you use them? And I'll tell you, for me, I don't use them because they're not accurate. I find that, especially Bing, for some reason, you said spam. Yeah. So when I search a term in Yahoo and Bing for sure, it'll give me a bunch of foolishness. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just not as accurate from what I'm looking for. Yahoo is a little bit more accurate than Bing is. The reason why Google is so accurate, when you search something, you usually find it right within the first couple listings. You usually find what you're looking for. It's because Google focuses, and their whole business model is on optimization and making sure that what you search actually comes up. And so Google, Facebook, Instagram, you guys know they do a lot of tracking, right? And so they're constantly collecting data, and we're going to talk about what that data looks like and how that's going to affect your business. So Google wants to make sure when their clients, or their users search, they find what they're looking for within the first couple listings. And so we'll talk about why that's important, but that's what makes Google the #1 search engine in the world, is because they're so accurate. So I'm going to tell you why this plays a part into your business. Google seems to be the most popular. I'm actually not sure why I do use them, but I just always go to Google. And I'm telling you, I think, and it's funny because I have before just like randomly like open up my phone or someone else's device, or it could be on a library computer or whatever, and I'll go search really quick, and I'll search something, and I look at the listings, and I'm like, this is not Google. Like, I can tell from the results, and I'll look and it's like Bing, and it's like, oh my God, get out of here. Get back to Google because the results are just really not accurate. And so that's why I like Google. And so we're going to talk about why Google is able to do that and how you can benefit as a company or a business being listed on Google. So that way people that are looking for you can find you. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Google Business You guys know I talk about this all the time with Notary, right? So, but really it's any business. Any business should have a Google business page, okay? So a Google business listing is free. And I know a lot of people get that confused. They go to Google My Business right here, google.com/my business. And when you go there, it gives you the option to make a listing and a page. The image that you see on the left, well, my left, I guess maybe your right hand side, that's a Google business listing or a Google business page. Okay. This is what is free and what you should have. Okay. A Google website, they have a free version. They also have a paid version that you can use. You do need a website. And I think that, let me see what you guys said as far as website builds. Oh my goodness. Most of you guys don't have a website. That is like, big no-no. Big no-no. You need a website. So mark that down if you're taking notes. Build my website. Okay. So if you want to build a website, what you want to do is you want to make sure that, well, first of all, you can build a website pretty cheaply if you go for free with Weebly or Wix. You can they have paid versions, which you can build for free. And then you can also build with GoDaddy. So GoDaddy, you guys know I talk about that. GoDaddy, if you're going to use them, use the promo codes because you can save a significant amount of money when you build with GoDaddy. Okay. If you use the promo codes. But if you have a basic like notary site, I would just do a Weebly or a Wix because it gets the same kind of concept. I like GoDaddy when I'm building more complex websites and I want to add more content to it. Like I might want to have lots of bells and whistles going on. And so I may have more things available to there. Okay. And so the Google business page listing is what you want to make sure you have as well. So website, Google business page listing. Okay. So I know a lot of you guys have some homework to do when you get off of this session because we're going to build a website for our business. Super duper important. So your Google business listing, you're going to go to google.com/business and you're going to make a free listing. Let me make sure I don't lose my time. Okay. Because I got a lot to cover. You want to make sure you do a free listing and make sure it's complete. Okay. Complete your Google business page listing with quality content. So of the game. And so Google requires you to play by their rules in order for you to be listed and to be seen. So if you go and create a Google business page listing, but you don't have pictures, you don't have a website, you don't have a phone number, you don't have your bio section in there, you don't have your keywords listed, you don't have your, I'm trying to think of all the tabs. When you make a Google page listing, there's tabs all down the left-hand side. Go through all of them and complete them. And there's actually, when you first make your listing, there's like a little circular bar that says, okay, your listing is 20% complete. Your listing is 30% complete. Your listing needs to be complete 100%. If it's not complete 100%, then you are not going to get the optimization that you're looking for with Google. Okay. So with Google business page listing, you want to make sure you have your entire listing complete. Key though, with quality content. Okay. Quality content. So y'all might think it's something like, this is so small, but I'm telling you, something as small as just punctual errors, like just grammatical errors, that hurts your listing, okay? And you want to make sure you have good quality pictures, you know? You want to make sure it's appealing. I will tell you this, some of you guys probably know already. If Google shows your listing, and it's not just Google, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's TikTok. If they show your content to someone, or to groups of people, okay? And people click away from it, or they look at it for a second and then go away, or they look at it and they don't engage with it. That brings your likelihood of being shared again down, okay? Because they don't want to keep sharing content people don't want to see, okay? And so if your listing looks tacky or looks plain, or it has horrible grammatical errors all over it, or just different things, then people are not going to engage with it, and Google's going to see that and start to drop your listings visibility. Okay. Jacqueline said, having issues with building a website, issues with what all to include to make it pop. And so that's just being creative. What I will say, and I'll get to in a second, is look at other websites that you like and copy their models. That's the best way to think about it. Like, look at other things that you like, that you engage with, that you think are pretty. You don't have to recreate the wheel. A lot of us who get into business, we have to figure out everything like, what can I do to make, you don't have to do all that. Okay. Your product or your service, you can like try to, you know, fine tune something that makes you different. But when it comes to a website, you could just look up other websites that are nice, that are engaging. You can watch a YouTube video. You can go to YouTube and just search engaging website creations or things like that, and just watch. There's so many tutorials out there that will show you how to build a simple but engaging website. Okay. All right. So the Google business page listing, you want to make sure you have quality content. Next piece a lot of people forget is that once they have their Google business page listed, they link their website, they start getting reviews. And this is something that I didn't know. I recently learned is that when people review your business, you should respond in a timely manner. And so timely manner to me is like 24 to 48 hours. Like the sooner the better. But the thing that I didn't know was that you should be responding with the keywords in your responses, right? And so it's one of those things, if you don't know, you just don't know. So say, for instance, you provided notary services and someone said, oh my God, I love her notary service. She was so kind and, you know, polite, and she did everything that I asked her for. Boom, right? And then you go on there and you say, thank you so much. I hope to see you again. No keywords, okay? So a keyword is basically the nuts and bolts of your business. So when people are searching, what are they searching for? Those are your keywords, okay? So your response could be something like, thank you so much for using my notary services. I'm so happy that I could try to think something that you could be creative with. Thank you so much for using my notary services. In the future, if you're looking for remote online notary or loan signing agent services, I'm available. Like, plug in some of your keywords from your website in your response. That gives you more keywords. That helps Google figure out what you do, and people are responding to you, and then you're responding with those keywords, and it helps boost your listing. So whenever you're responding to someone with their with your reviews on your Google business page, make sure you're using your keywords. So we're going to go over keywords in a second. Okay.